Hey pals, we're back again with part two of the colonoscopy series. It wasn't meant to be a series, but I guess that's why we are now. Ha ha ha. Too much happened and I got really upset about everything all the time. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, so here's part two about getting a colonoscopy. Fuck me up, fam. Thanks, bye. I want to burp again, but it's going to be frothy and gross. No, it was just liquid. Ugh.
It's an annoying thing that you can't have something to eat after you've had it.
Yeah, or something to get rid of the taste, really.
Yeah. Oh, I've got some sherbet lemon sweets. What about that?
No, because that's what this stuff smells like.
It's got glucose in it.
Yeah, sugar.
it's got, so you could be sucking that, couldn't you? Got orange ones, raspberry ones, lemon ones.
Don't really think that will help.
Green ones.
Because then you have to suck on it enough to get the taste. But then if you've still got it in your mouth when you drink, then you're just sucking the rest of the drink taste off of it.
Oh, I'm going now. Quick.
I don't want to.
I'll count. And on the count of 5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Oh, go.
That was a bit better.
Oh, well, there you are, then they know what to do.
Because it half cancels out some of that salt, yeah. Not going to do it to it all though, because this is very strong. It's still not nice.
Have a little bit. And then put some more of them.
Hello, Layla. Can you drink this instead? Just give the dogs the shit instead of me. Ugh. Try to drink a glassful every 10 to 15 minutes. No, I've been here for almost half an hour. But I don't know if I can drink this. It's so disgusting. Like, if I just had to drink this one, then I think it might be manageable. But having to drink this again at 6 in the morning...
disgusting. It's so awful. It tastes like salt. I've barely had any of it. I don't know how I'm supposed to get up at 6 and drink another one of these. Like, I was more concerned about these needles, and now I have to drink this shit, and it's just as bad as the thought of the needles. Been sat here trying to drink it for the last 35 minutes and getting nowhere. Doesn't matter what I try to drink after it or what I mix it with, like, it's foul.
I think of anything that's a strong flavour that will take the...
It doesn't take the salt away though. Like, that made it a bit better, but it's still so salty. Like, the salt makes you want to be sick. Because that's what salt water does, it makes you sick.
Yeah.
I just don't know how I'm supposed to drink all of that. And then again. I've been bloody dizzy all day. Still am. Couldn't even have pancakes because the fucking flour had so much bloody fibre in.
Oh.
Even though the fucking plain bread has loads of fibre in.
Was it?
Yeah! But I can eat plain bread. But I can't eat anything else that has fibre. And I want to burp, but it's just coming back up.
How to mask a salt drink.
Add flavouring such as Crystal Light. Whenever drink it cold, use a straw, suck on a lemon or hard candy afterwards.
Well, I said I've got
That's
that.
afterwards. I have to get through it all before I can have a hard candy afterwards.
Do you want me to go and get them? Because I've got them.
Doesn't say much out either. So add flavour to your prep.
We have.
You want something as palatable as possible.
So have you looked up the actual like prep then?
No, yeah. Can you mix anything? I found chewing minty gum helped ice the taste. I took a drink of tea.
I can't imagine chewing gum and then drinking that. I have got gum in my car. But I don't know, I can't imagine it. I'm running low on time as well. Hour and 20 minutes left. Well, I started when I started this, but it's nearly at 40. Yep.
Try the lemon.
I don't have any fresh lemon.
No.
Yeah, give me some lemon and then some tequila. I'll have a sip of that. Have the lemon or a lime, Then have a shot of tequila, you know, salt, citrus, and
They can have cordial, but not
fizzy.
blackcurrant.
what's the fucking difference? Layla wants a lolly.
She likes a lot.
Layla wants a lolly.
She likes a lolly. She likes a lolly.
Just thought about imagine licking it after doing that. I need a shot glass to pour this in. Have a swig of everything.
I haven't been there.
Do you want to do it with in shots?
Maybe. It might be the only way to do it. I have tried to shot it, but it's too... I keep pouring too much. Because the straw still doesn't quite help.
Oh, she wants all
That's a
different
huge shot.
You just put a small bit in. They're not. I haven't got anything any smaller.
But then one with the yellow feet.
Haven't got anything
or
any
green
smaller,
feet,
we're
green
alcoholics.
feet,
What? Nothing will be a good enough chaser to this. I feel dizzy. Oh, what is that smell? Great.
That will encourage you to drink it quicker so you get...
No, it won't. It'll make the gag reflex worse. Oh my god, it smells like shit.
It tasted like it.
Yeah, it smells like someone's had a bloody massive curry shit.
That's probably me farting.
No, it's the fucking dinner. Smells like when I worked in the old people's home. Oh god, fucking hell. Wafting. Ugh.
Ginger ale. Chewing peppermint gum.
Yeah, but I want to be done.
I know
This is
you want
horrible.
I know.
I feel sick all the time anyway. This just doesn't help. It makes it so much worse, and it makes me just not want to even bother.
I know, but we need to bother. We need to get to the bottom of it and try and help you.
After having to drink all that disgusting stuff, I felt quite unwell. "6 a.m, time to drink more of this stuff," even though I barely drank any of it last night. I drank more in the morning, but it still took me a while. I think it took me maybe 3 or 4 hours rather than the 2 that they want, you know. Then, I don't know, then we headed down there. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, we got there. I was in like easy to remove kind of tracky outfit sheet. I had to go in to another room briefly just to like make sure everything on their paperwork was correct. And say anything I needed to say. So we talked about my fear of needle sort of thing. She had to take my blood pressure. We found out now, my right arm does not read blood pressure at all. Because she, with this big fancy machine, tried twice on my right arm, and both times it couldn't get a reading. And we've done that at home before, but my mum's one is a little machine, so we thought maybe it's just because it's a little machine and not like a high-techy thing. But no, apparently it's just all machines can't get a reading on my right arm. I think you're supposed to really do it on your left arm anyway. I think that's the better arm. But I also have really low blood pressure. Like, I'm on the border of... I think I'm still technically in normal range. I think. But very low on normal. Or I am below normal. So she had to take it on my left arm in the end. And they, lots of people had to do my blood pressure to keep checking. So I had to keep thrusting my left arm at them so that they would not try to do it on my right arm. So that was funny. They went and got special spray, magic spray, so that the cannula scratch wouldn't hurt as much. It's bullshit, it doesn't work. I think it's a placebo. I don't think it's real, because it still hurt, but not, I don't know. I think for me it's the thought of it more than anything, so. But the lady who did my cannula was really nice, and she did it really quickly, and it was all fine. But it was quite funny, because when she was getting it ready, so she had the band on my arm, but she was nice that she put it over like a sleeve of the nightgown thing I was wearing, so it wasn't like on my skin and it didn't hurt. But so she was poking around trying to find somewhere, a good vein, and every time she moved away, so she'd keep moving my arm outwards like this, but every time she moved away I would just slowly rotate my arm back, and she'd have to turn it back over, and I'd stick it every single time. And I think that was just like a mental reaction, because I don't like cannulas, needles or anything going into that part of my arm. But I noticed it and I thought it was really funny, so I told my mum. I had this fancy nightgown and robe. I was tempted to steal the robe because it was white and purple stripes. I was like, this is kind of cute. Yeah, because they took me off into this other room where they were putting in the cannula, but they had told me that as soon as the cannula goes in, the sedation... Yeah, I was told that the sedation would go straight in as soon as they put the cannula in. That was a lie. I think that whoever it was we spoke to any time either had no idea what they were talking about or completely misunderstood what we were asking. And like, I was really nervous about going off into this room by myself, because their little timeline, they had like this timeline board thing outside in the waiting room, made it seem like I could stay with the person I brought, so my mum. And
until I go in for the surgery or whatever. Not surgery, you know, procedure. Apparently, no, they don't do that. And I was like, But the lady was nice enough to sneak my mum in to come sit with me leading up to the procedure. And actually, once that cannula was in, it didn't really hurt. I couldn't really feel it. It was okay. It just, if I moved weirdly with my arm, then I could feel it and it kind of hurt. I wouldn't necessarily say I've gotten over the fear of cannulas, because I still have blood tests and I still have fear with that as well. But I think now that I've actually had the experience, it's more manageable in my brain, because I know what it should feel like, you know. So like on the bed I was in, they laid me down and rolled me through, which was really weird. It's so weird rolling through a hospital, laying on one of those trolleys. It's not through a hospital, it's literally just through one small corridor, but... And so we were in this room, which didn't really look... It didn't look scary. It literally just looked like any other, like, officey room, just with a bit more equipment in it, you know? They checked a lot who I was and my date of birth and stuff like that. I was asked about 3 or 4 times. So, in a way, like, it was a bit weird, but I'm glad that they were thorough to make sure that they were operating on, you know, doing this thing on the right person. Because, yeah, I don't want to be getting the wrong procedure, you know, fam? So I spoke to the man who was doing the procedure. I had 2 female nurses in the room. Yeah, I was led to believe that the sedation was going to make me feel and act drunk. But no. Like, even my mum was surprised when she came and saw me afterwards, but I'll get to that. So they put it in, and it kind of just didn't feel like anything. Didn't feel, like, you can't feel it going in the cannula, for one, which was surprising to me. And I just felt the same, really. I didn't have my glasses on, so the world was fucking fuzzy anyway. Because I had to lay on my side for most of it. I didn't really want to wear glasses. It's uncomfortable. If you don't wear glasses, you don't understand. Basically, they were shoving a camera up my arse. So there was a screen showing the inside of my stomach. And they warned me that it might be uncomfortable in some places, and to let them know if it was, like, not, you know, unbearable, and they'll give me more sedation. And that happened a few times where it was quite painful. There was one point I had to move on to my back so they could get round one of the bends in my colon. It was quite funny, actually. When I first went in the room, he said, a colon isn't straight. And I was like... Obviously, you have to go through different bends. Basically, the whole time I was watching the screen, I was interested and I was asking questions. And then I actually also got given, after the procedure, like a report that also had some pictures. Pre-warning, I'm putting those in now. Skip ahead if you don't want to see the inside of my colon. Yeah, basically what I saw and what they were telling me, unfortunately, was, yeah, a lot of information, a lot of, like, scarring in places. He asked me if I use a lot of ibuprofen, and I said to him, like, I haven't taken the pill version of ibuprofen in a few months, because I read about, you know, you shouldn't take it if you have Crohn's or whatever, so I avoided it just to be safe. But I was a really, really heavy user for years of ibuprofen, because it was the only thing that did anything to help, especially before I was given a chronic illness, chronic disability, chronic pain, or whatever, diagnosis, where people finally started to give me other pain meds. And he said, well, the scarring looks so, like, still so fresh. It looks like you still take ibuprofen. It looks like it hasn't had the several months to be healing. So I said, oh, well, I use ibuprofen gel and patches, but I wasn't, like, I didn't read anything against that. I just thought it was talking about against using the pills. He said, well, there's not really been enough research into it, but it is likely the gel and patches I use have kept the scarring raw and have still affected it, like I was taking the pills, which is great. I think that's important for people to know, because even when I googled it, it just said ibuprofen. It didn't specify anything, you know. When you have chronic pain and are only prescribed a certain amount of your own, you know, your type of medication a day, it's difficult to then, you know, if you still have pain after your prescribed medication, you've got to do something about it. So what I was doing about it was ibuprofen gels and patches, because they seem to do more than other things. And because I take cocodamol, I can't take any extra paracetamol, because I already have paracetamol in my cocodamol, you know, fam. So now I have come off of the gels and patches, and I gave them all to my mum, basically, because she needs help. My gran can't take them either because of her asthma and also because of her stomach issues. But yeah, the camera went all the way up. The big colon meets the small colon. I don't know what the big colon is. Big intestine, small intestine. Is that it? I don't know. I didn't take biology. So we saw sort of like the beginnings of the inside of my small intestine as well, and he said there was a lot of information there. You're supposed to be able to see the pattern of like veins and stuff. This is gross, but because of inflammation I had, he couldn't see things like that. He basically told me that it looks like I have Crohn's. It cannot be completely confirmed yet because they took a shit ton of biopsies. They took fucking loads on the way down. It was so weird. This is the really gross bit, I suppose, really. They obviously have to pluck shit. It's and I was watching this too. It's really weird. They grab bits that they want to biopsy and test, and you can feel them pulling it. It's so weird. So they did sort of go with their little grabby thing and go and they took absolutely loads. I think they took 15 or more biopsies. It was mad, but at least they're being thorough. Pulling out that camera was a lot easier than pushing it in. And they also removed like the air that they put in during the procedure. He was like, we're gonna blow gas into, like, not gas, but air into your colon so we can see better. So if you need to pass wind, that's completely fine, we're used to it. And I was like, it hurts my stomach, but I don't think I can fart, fam. I don't know how people do. Because, like, yeah, my stomach felt like, oh, you need to fart. you need to pass wind. It wasn't moving towards exiting my body. The leaflet as well said after the procedure you might fart a lot, you know, and I didn't. It was just really surprising to me because I was preparing for like having like a really uncomfortable stomach, being really bloated because, you know, it said all this stuff in the leaflet and I just wasn't. I was fucking starving. I was well excited when they brought over an egg sandwich. Maybe most people get farty and bloated and whatever. I felt worse when I was drinking the stuff than I was after the procedure. Like my bum felt a bit raw. So I was wheeled back out and put in this funny little room again. They took my obs and I was just like, when are they going to bring me fucking food and water? So they were checking my ob and I was like, could I have some water now? Because you can't drink for 2 hours before you go in as well. If any of you know me, I'm a thirsty bitch. I love drinking water specifically. I get very cranky, I get very upset. You know, I want to drink. There's been a few times when they think I have diabetes. You know, I've been tested for diabetes because of how thirsty I am. But I don't have diabetes, I'm just thirsty. Like, I drink a lot of water. That's the one healthy thing about me, fam. Like, every time doctors ask, I'm like, no, I drink loads of water, don't worry about it. The lady brought me a nice cold cup of water, but you know, the cups are about 2 mouthfuls. So I'll fucking down that bitch. She came back, checked the obs again, and then brought me, like, she asked me what I wanted to eat, and I was like, sure, I think the only thing I'd be able to eat would be egg. The smallest thing will set off a horrendous flare. And I said to the man in the procedure room, I was like, I'm really scared of having one of those bags coming out of my stomach. That's the one thing I really would like to avoid. And he was like, it's possible, but that's 15 steps ahead, you know, like that's a lot further down the line than we are. We're still we're doing the first lot of tests really in hopes of trying to avoid that procedure, that surgery, you know. I have been cutting down foods that irritate my stomach, that make me unwell. Most of that is dairy. I don't eat meat, I'm a vegetarian. Sandwich options, not great for vegetarians anyway, and even more limiting when you can't eat dairy. So she brought me an egg sandwich, and it was actually really fucking good. It was a really good sandwich. And she brought me more water. And I felt like I sat there for fucking ages before they took the cannula out and let me get dressed. Because like I felt fine. I didn't feel like I'd had any sedation. They brought my mum around to discuss stuff on the report, things they found. And then I went home, and basically the only thing I felt like the sedation did to me was I was fucking knackered. I think it just made me more tired because I slept a lot. I think I fell asleep in the evening for a couple of hours. Then I was awake until about midnight, so maybe about 3 hours. Then I fell asleep again, and I don't think I woke up until 10:30. And then I think I fell asleep in the afternoon that day, the next day as well. Yeah, I was tired. That was pretty much it for the colonoscopy. It's not bad, it's a bit uncomfortable, and I should get results on the biopsy. They said 2 weeks, so, and then also there's more information to be figured out from the MRI of the small intestine as well, which was my second procedure. And I'll talk about that in another video. But I hope this was useful to some people. It's kind of terrifying going through all this. I just feel so unwell all the time. If I eat one thing, like even something small that's wrong, it hurts my stomach, like I bloat, or I get really, I don't know, pain, cramps, whatever, and it's very frustrating. I have a lot of moments where I just, I just wish I was well, because my stomach issues are inflammation. I think it's setting off a lot of my physical pain inflammation, so I'm in a lot of pain a lot of the time. But I hope this was helpful to someone, or at least interesting to some people. Any future doctors out there that come across this, feel free to ask me some questions, because fam, I am an interesting case. It'd be great if you left a like, a comment, and to subscribe to my channel. I'm sad. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.